That's not all. There's also our blockbusters. But you'll need to get in quick, because when they're gone, they're gone. And finally, our monthly mega deal, which lasts all month, or while stocks last. Create and Craft, bringing you deals galore.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Create and Craft. Good morning. What we're talking about is 6 p.m. We are live this Tuesday. Now, we are in sale. I get it. But this show is not a sale. In fact, there are some odds and sods on sales as well. It is a one-day special show, so please ignore that bit behind me. There are some sale items, but it's brand new today from Toni, All Things Stamps by Me. We do have happy hours on the show. We have some returning favourites as well, so there are some sale-priced items. But let's kick off with a brand new launch. It's called Foreign Romance. Absolutely beautiful. A huge array of HD 3D embossing folders and papers that you're not even paying for. Hey, listen, one of the folders is basically free as well. Huge monetary saving, and you can interest-free defy the cost on Flexi if you wish to. Let's go straight away and get hold of yours. 023535. In my opinion, it's a little bit like a wedding theme, a romantic theme, not just through the papers, but actually through the HD 3D embossing folders. Beautiful imagery, setting the scene, locations, individuals, couples, celebrations. Absolutely divine for only $31.48. That is your first of two interest-free Flexis. 023535. So if you want to get ahead of us on the website, createandcraft.com, and get hold of the happy hour, get hold of your colourless glitter, which is back in stock, even more paper pads returning favourites in stock on this show too, and put it all in the same basket, divide it by 2 on FlexiPay. But for your one-day special, 023535. And of course, Toni is joining us by the power of some sort of technology as well. So good evening, Toni. Are you right?
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So, Toni, when did you land? You've been on holiday, right? When did you get back?
Yeah, we had a short break. We've been back over a week now. Since then, I feel like all I've done is streaming to Create and Craft to our lovely viewers. So Happy New Year, guys. Can't wait for 2024.
Quite right. We don't let you go on holiday at any other time, Toni, so never go away again, please. Thank you very much. I know you're going to show us loads of demonstrations on your social media. You've shared lots of inspiration as well. But, Toni, take it away. Talk us through what we're getting home in all things. The Foreign Romance, absolutely beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, so in this particular collection, this wasn't meant to be launched for another month, Dan, but I was asked to do some short notice shows, so here it is. And it's a month earlier, so you get more time to play with them for the summer months. So as you've already stated, it is that wonderful celebratory collection, romantic. It can be wedding themed if you want it to be. And we were asked and asked and asked, can you bring some wedding things? I was like, okay. So this is my interpretation of wedding, but it gives you a broader horizon so you can be creative with all your cards throughout the whole year. So let's have a look at the embossing folders. So they are all HD 3D, and I've given you a chalkboard effect here, but basically I've run the embossing folder through on some black card, and then I've brushed over with a white ink pad to give you this beautiful rise in this design. Now, this is family gathering. It does look like a wedding table, doesn't it? But equally, beautiful. It could be a Christmas table. It could be any table you want it to be for an anniversary, anything you want. I haven't seen any embossing folders like this, to be honest, where the focal is a celebratory. So we have the family gathering. This is a 6x6. Then we have, I think this has to be my favourite, we have Abby, which can be, it could even be a sympathy card if you wanted it to be. But I'm thinking things like, sorry, what do you call it when they get christened? Christenings, that was what I was looking for, sorry.
Christening,
so, yeah, couldn't get that out of the top of it at all. So christenings, weddings, anything you wanted it to be. Travelling, if you've been and seen these sort of like really elegant buildings, so that's Abbey. Then we have Cabaret, which is a curtains, which is going to see through all of your design. And all of these designs can be fussy cut so easy. So you can cut the bride and groom or the groom and groom, pop them to one side, and you have beautiful cards. So that is the sort of Cabaret curtain style. Then we have Jasper, which is the gentleman on his own. Now, you're probably thinking, well, why did you do a gent on his own when we have a lady and a gent here? Well, obviously now, these days, well, for a long time now, not just ladies and gentlemen get married. We have gent and gent, lady and lady. So now we can mix it up, and we really can take our crafting that extra length. So Jasper here, beautiful, very dapper in design. and he's going to be one of my demos because I think Jasper's so cute. Then we have Happy Ever After, which is the lady and the gentleman. But equally, you can take the lady away from this one, super, super easy, and have 2 ladies on a card as well. And then we have You're Invited, which is this wonderful easel, which is just absolutely timeless. You're going to use this a ton. So they are your whole embossing folders. So you're getting a really, really good deal today with all of them being built into the bundle. But as you know, Dan, we do have them as individuals.
Yep.
But then we have the paper pad, which is going to sort of like bring it all together. So this is Foreign Romance. Again, 7 designs, 21 pages. Again, uncoated, so you can stamp on it, heat emboss onto it. I mean, look at these designs. Absolutely gorgeous. Don't you just wish you were there right now? Instead of this, excuse my cutting there, instead of this awful rain that we're having of late. I mean, we must have had rain for a month. Soggy mess, isn't it? Awful. So these are,
Soggy mess.
I think these are very soggy mess. It's everywhere you walk, you've got leaves stuck to your shoes, or it's damp underfoot, or it gets dragged into the house. I'm here right now, Dan. So
yeah, in the penthouse.
Absolutely, at the top. And there's a jacuzzi somewhere around here, and the sun's shining somewhere too. I'd like this cartoon. But equally, you can cut them into slimline cards if you want to. They've got that lovely tone of pink in there. They've got the cobbled streets. Very romantic. But again, they're going to build in beautifully with these wonderful embossing folders. And as I always like to do, I always create products and bring them to you that tell a wonderful story. I love a story. And if I can create a card that's going to make a wonderful story, then the person who receives it is going to absolutely appreciate it.
Now, it's absolutely divine, isn't it? Thank you, Tony. And after all, you can't get the pad on its own. That's like an exclusive entity, if you like, within the item number for the one-day special. So thank you, Tony, for that. 20% of the stock, Tony, already sold out of the one-day special, 023535. For wedding season coming up, or for anniversaries, Valentine's Day. Goodness me, Valentine's isn't that far away after all. Is it absolutely perfect for that? For making and selling? Absolutely. If you do want to add some more paper pads in, there's a wonderful collection of either 5 or 2 coming up in just a second. But yeah, 20% of your new one-day special has sold out. 023535, £31.48. But, Tony, we'll talk through together with these ones, because I mentioned we do have a happy hour on the show as well, so maybe putting it in the same basket as that after all, and then you can divide it by 2, interest-free if you wish. This one, unique for this hour, is the Violet Rose, of which is a stamp, but it's also a die. So you've got the die in there too, which is really, really beautiful. I'll quickly give you the price, and I'll ask Tony to chip in here if I can. £8.09. What's that on Flexi? £4.05. You're putting it in the same basket. And Tony, this sort of swirly, flourish design works beautifully with the one-day special.
It absolutely does, but it does double fold up into the tail of a butterfly. That solid portion in the gold emboss. From the tails, you can add the gems. It has 4 dies in that one, Dan. So it has the exterior die, which cuts it proud, then a matte and layer if you want to. But again, backgrounds, butterfly tails, just extra detail to the backs of your cards. It's an A6 as well, so it's an absolute steal, normally about £16.99. So once it's gone, it's gone.
Wow. Well, Tony, a third of that stock has sold out, so it's on its way. 026129 to get hold of that. The next one, I remember doing this for the first time. I saw it with Tony as well. We've got some new props for you, Tony. You'll enjoy this. With the colourless media glitter, which is absolutely beautiful. Basically, I'm going to... Max doesn't know, floor manager, but I'm going to cascade this down here like a waterfall of glitter, of crystals. Are you ready, Max? You'll be fine. Tony, what does colourless mean, though, with all things glitter?
So, Dan, when you see glitter, normally, even though it's iridescent, it has a colour. Never see a glitter that doesn't have a colour. So this gives you a glass-like finish. There is no colour, completely colourless. Please don't think it's glass. It's not glass, so you are safe to pick it up with your fingers. It will not cut you. But the great thing about this one, Dan, is it's a big tub and it's semi-porous as well. So if you want to take the glitter and add it to several different pots and add some alcohol ink, you can create your own coloured glitters from this one. Wow. And what it does is it just gives you that beautiful glass-like finish. So traditionally when you see iridescent glitter, you get a hue of green, undertone, purple, pink, orange. This gives you no hue whatsoever. It just gives you the flash like a glass-like. So it's absolutely beautiful, because not always the colours in glitter match our projects, whereas now with this one, Doesn't have to match. It's going to give you the sparkle without having to match.
I remember you, Tony, before Christmas, we did a show, didn't we? And you were putting lots of watercolour elements, like with your lamps and light elements. It was absolutely divine once this dried over there. £6.29. I want you to put it in the flexi basket. £3.15 this month. Doesn't affect your P&P. 848259. Now, I mentioned there are a whole load of other paper pads or cardstocks or mounts on the show that I think you'll absolutely adore with the one-day special, or individually as well. The pack of 5 created mounts. Already you're saving £10, even more off, £13.49 if you're in the club, which is fab. It's 365102. And Tony, the designs on here, like I can see here, like the countryside elements, I feel like you're covering all seasons, actually. So I feel like you could be going back to this paper pad even this time next year.
Mounts throughout the whole of 2023. This is literally what is left from the second order that I put in for this amount of stock. So in this particular one, you get the changing of the seasons, the countryside, and some wonderful florals. Now, you might ask yourself, well, what would I do with those? Well, the cards in themselves, okay? You just pop sentiment on and they are done. But equally, as time's gone on over the last 6 months, we've found that people have been using them beautifully with all of our HD 3D embossing folders. You ink up the embossing folder and run them through, and what happens is the detail pops through the embossing folder, giving you just the most timeless looking cards. The colour comes through. It really does look like you spent a lot of time on your cards.
Wow.
So there's line art in there. There's some hues. There's some watercolour finishes as well. So if you just pop the embossing folder straight on, hopefully I'll either get to show you in this show or at 9 o'clock tonight the different ways you can utilise these. You need to check out the cards online in our Eureka fan page because these are wow factors, and it's a great price as well today.
Big saving, yeah, 31.46 to get all 5 of those whilst we've got stock. 365102. One more item to show you, then of course we're going to go back to that one-day special. Tony, I remember when you launched these, we were together, weren't we? Absolutely divine. Actually, these will work with your Quattro D range. I think these will work purely with some of your older stamps, your dies, of course. But you are a huge fan of watercolour. Just testing the boundaries of colour, actually. They're very different designs, but yet complement each other.
Yeah, these are a great shortcut to getting those lovely looks on your cards that make us a little bit fearful when we're building cards and things like that. So these have the splats, the hues, the ombres, the light to dark, which sometimes we look at and think, I want to achieve that, but can't always do it. So in this particular set, you do have those. So all you need to do is either run them through your embossing folder, add a white ink pad on top, stamp onto them, add a sentiment. You can do as you please. These are going to cross-pollinate with all of the other lovely brands that we love to buy from Stamps by Me, from Create and Craft as well. So this one is your watercolour brights, and then the other one is more artistic in design. So you're going to get the design shapes with the sort of dripping and splat detail. And again, these went down an absolute storm. And again, this is just what's left again. So we are now in 2024. We're going to take the world by storm, hopefully with some lovely new products for you all. So get these if you want to top up.
Honestly, guys at home, I was listening to one of Tony's did a live. I think you did a Facebook Live yesterday, didn't you, Tony? And you were updating people with bits and bobs of what you're up to. And 2024 is going to be huge for all things Stamps by Me. And, of course, you'll be sharing all of that with us here on Create and Craft. So I'll quickly give you the item number, 608115. We're going to throw it to Tony in just a second to give you a demonstration on all things one-day special. But to get hold of those together, £14.39. Let's divide it by 2. £7.20 this month if you're going for the one-day special, which most of you are. We'll get the details on the screen. That is where the Flexi Bay is, and also that's where the next demonstration is going to be focused on. So, Tony, take it away for all things one-day special, please.
Okay, so I'm going to do my favourite, Dan. I'm going to do the Abbey. I like them all, but the Abbey just tells a story. I really want to be there. So when you get our HD 3D embossing folders home, they have the HD 3D. Have that to the front, and that's just going to enable you to make sure you've got it on the right side. So this is a 5x7. I have a piece of vellum here that's got like a little bit of a wash on, but any vellum will do. This is from the Teresa set that I did with Teresa Collins. But any vellum, even if you've got the plain, it'll look totally awesome. So let me just show you how we run this one through now. Over the course of today, tonight, and the 2 shows tomorrow, I'll show you lots of different techniques with embossing folders because we do a ton. We do so many different techniques for you all. So let's try vellum first. So I'm just going to pop this into the embossing folder here. I'm going to line it up. I already have one on some pink vellum, but I just want to show you how cool embossing folders can be if you just change them up a little bit. So let's just pop that in there. Let's just grab our plate quite simply, and let's run this one through. And what you're going to get with HD 3D is dimension on the front and dimension on the back. So it's entirely up to how you want to use your design. And you can hear that crunch, which is really, really nice. So I'm going to show you how we can build it in with those lovely foreign romance papers. So let's have a look. So when you open the design, I'll see if I can tilt it forward for you.
Oh, wow.
Can we see that there? Look how beautiful that is. I mean, that looks like a bit of, what do you call it, parchment, is it? Parchment work?
Yeah, it does, yeah, parchment craft.
And then the deboss, look at the deboss. It's so, so cool. So HD 3D gives you dimension front and back. You decide which one you want to use. So well, it doesn't matter to me. I love them both. So let's put a quick card together showing you how you can incorporate some vellum into those lovely papers as well that are in the show. So I have a nice pink card blank here, and I have some of the paper from the same set, which is really, really wonderful. And I'm just going to pop some tape on here. Just 1 second. Now, before I came to air, this is the one that we just did. Let's just, does it show on there? Let's have a look. Oh, does it show better on there? Let me just have a look. So this is the one that we just did on the grey watercolour vellum. Oh, yeah. And this is one that I did on pink. Hopefully you'll be able to see it if I put it on some colour. There we go. So I'm going to stick with this one here, but you can use anything you've got in your stash, okay? Don't be governed by what I use, because everything will work in your stash. So I'm just going to take this vellum and down the paper that's in the collection as well. So I'm just going to hook it over the top and hook it on the bottom. So the vellum gives sort of like a transparent feel, so you can see the design underneath. I can still see the edge of my building here. And what happens is then we've got the continuity with the paper there. So I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm just going to stick this one down. And then at the top. So when you have your embossing folders, play around with different cardstocks and mediums, because really they look absolutely wonderful if you change up the design. Look how beautiful that is. It looks like I've gone over it with some white work or a white ink pad. So let's just get this onto a card. Now, you saw how simple this was, and this is what I was saying about embossing folders, how quick they make really, really cool cards. So let's pop this onto our pink card blank here. Really unique. I absolutely love these. So everything about you is amazing. Just a quick sentiment. We'll pop this down by the base here. You could sparkle it up if you wanted to. But there we have Abby, quite simply on a card. And it's got a story in the background too. So the foreground tells a story, the background tells a story. Absolutely love this one. So that's that one. And here is one from my design team, Karen, which is very similar, but just using a different way to use it. So I'll just tilt that one forward.
Tony, I feel like you could take one of the paper pads or take your vellums and things. I'll let you get ready for another demonstration in just a sec. But you could just change the embossing folder, but keep the exact same background. And that's you batch making, right? That's you getting ready for wedding stationery or your thank yous or your invitations too, because they're all upon that theme, aren't they? Whether it's the single gen or the lady or the couple or the abbey or the easel and things. It's all on a theme. It could be a birthday, it could be a celebration, it could be an anniversary. But just by changing out one element, right, it really changes the whole look of the card.
Absolutely. And although it does scream wedding, the easel, an artist, a sketcher, somebody going to college, just a personal message, anything you want to, the travelling and things like that, the lady and the gentleman celebrating your 60th anniversary, a prom, it could be absolutely everything, just a general birthday. The gentleman, because we really do struggle with gents' cards, so, you know, looking very dapper, just a simple guy there in an embossing folder, and you literally have got you covered with what looks like 6 embossing folders. I haven't seen anything embossing folder-wise that gives you this sort of eclectic mix of celebration that also covers wedding as well, Dan, so it's quite cool in that sense.
It's very, very cool. There's a real tradition to it, but obviously with your papers you bring in and things like that as well, you can make it really, really modern. Tony, I'll let you get ready for more demonstrations, but just talking about the... Yeah, thank you. So here's an example, for example, with one of the backgrounds in there. That is embossed in, so maybe it's been watercoloured, coloured in. So you can really go to town on the actual colouring of the suit. Maybe you're going to coordinate it with the colours of the day, or whatever you'd rather do. Obviously, one of Tony's previous thank you die sentiments in there. Just to talk about the Abbey again, though, with a little bit of inking going on. That background could be self-made, could be on a jelly plate, whatever you'd rather do. One of the sentiments again from Toni, really very, very striking. But not forgetting, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 HD 3D embossing folders, all brand new. And once it's gone, as you've heard, it has gone. It's not going extended delivery. We can't make up any more bundles or anything like that at all. There's no stock of the paper pad. That is not available individually. That is an exclusive, if you like, offer within the one-day special. And you're saving £20 off anyway, £19. 023 535. Okay, 20 minutes in. Exactly 20 minutes in, over 20% of the stock has gone, £31.48. Quick heads up, by the way, friends. That happy hour, which again Toni mentioned, there's no more stock coming of this. The violet rose. You've got the stamp if you just want to use that, and then you've also got the multiple dies in there too. 90% plus of the stock has sold out. That is, well, it is limited stock. You can see it on the screen. So if you'd like to get hold of the violet rose, 026 129, £8.09. I hope it goes in the same basket here, because then that's £4.05 extra this month and next month. Rightio, here's your chance to check out your baskets. If you want to go for the glitter, that's back in stock. That pack of 5 mounts, brilliant value there. Whatever you're after, here's a quick time to check out your baskets, and not forgetting to get the lowest price around, join the Create and Craft Club. Okay, thank you all for coming. Now then, we need to say thank you to our dedicated customers. They really enjoy us and our huge range of great products.
We should make them feel part of a club.
A Create and Craft Club.
Brilliant! I can see it now. For just £10 a year, our club members will get
10% off everything they buy.
Yes. What else?
We could do weekly offers and vouchers exclusively to our club members.
Yes, yes, yes.
And we must give them a monthly e-newsletter so they can see what's coming up before anyone else.
And early access to all of our promotions.
That is brilliant.
Could we give them free entry to all Crafting Live shows?
Great idea.
And we should automatically enter them into a monthly prize draw.
Our club members will love that.
But what if they want more?
Club freedom.
I like it. Club freedom. For just £10 a month, we could give them...
How about free UK standard P&P?
I love it.
We could also give our Club Freedom members exclusive weekly vouchers too.
Everyone would love that.
That's because everyone will love our Create and Craft Club.
Now, we must make it easy to join.
Not a problem. They just go to createandcraft.com. It couldn't be simpler.
If you love crafting,
Then you'll love the Create and Craft Club. Yeah, super excited about this one-day special show. I know we're towards the end of our sale, and you've got some sale items, as I mentioned on the counter over there. This is brand new today, the one-day special from Toni. Nearly 25% of the stock has gone. The paper pad at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, keep going, 6 brand new embossing folders, of which the middle one, by the way, Happily Ever After, the couple, have just sold out individually. And Toni, I know you're going to demonstrate next, but we've got a lovely email here from Angela in Paisley in Scotland. Angela says, "Good evening, Toni, Dan and crew." Right, crew?
Good, thank you.
Right, Toni?
Good, thank you.
Right. Happy New Year to you all. Angela says, "Toni, I would just like to say thank you for the bride and groom embossing folder. I've been waiting for this since you spoke about it, and I'm excited to receive it. It's been ordered. Looking forward to seeing what else Stamps by Me has up their sleeve for 2024. It will be hard to outdo last year, but knowing you, Toni, you'll hit it out of the park again. So thank you for everything you do." Isn't that sweet?
I'm gonna knock it out the park. I'm so excited.
Questionable dance moves, but I can't do any better, but I absolutely adore that.
I'm a giddy kipper.
Yeah,
Right.
you are. I know you are.
Do you want me to do a demo? I know.
Oh, yeah. But
Sorry.
the happy hour is sold out as well. So well done,
Okay.
everybody going to happy hour. That has sold out, just to confirm that on the screen for you. Anyway, plenty from me. Toni, take it away. Another demo, please.
Dan, I just want to do a quick shout out because we're streaming live on all platforms here in the How to Craft Network, and we're getting a lot of comments saying, hi, Dan. A lot of people are saying hello to you from the USA as well. So we have Terry, Philomena, Carol, Jackie, all saying you're looking very dapper. I'm not sure if they're talking about the embossing folder or you. I think it's the embossing folder.
I am grossly underdressed compared to Jasper. I think
Yes,
I need a blazer. We coordinate a little bit. We're a little bit pastel twins, aren't we? We're doing all right.
We always look smart, Dan.
Thank you so much. Well, next to you, Toni.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's do the family gathering, because this is my second favourite. But if you see me tomorrow on shows, probably the bride and groom's going to be my favourite. So I change them all. I wouldn't create anything that I don't love, so it depends. So let's do this lovely family gathering. Now, this one is a 6x6 one, ladies and gentlemen. So you can see here, but I'm not going to use it as a full 6x6. Let me just see if I've got a card here. Look at this one here with the gold on. Look at that. That is a wow factor card, but I'm going to use it where we only see a part of the table, because it's sometimes nice to just use snippets of the design too. So I'm also going to use, Dan, one of our lovely mounts to show you how beautiful they are. So I've chosen this one, and I'm just going to run it through, and you're going to see how great this looks. So I'm just going to take the embossing folder, and I'm just going to pop the design and the mount together, but I'm just going to offset the mount. So let's just cut one of the chairs off here. So I have it coming in from the side, should we say.
Okay.
And then let's run this one through. Now, when you first run these through, you completely lose your design. You have to bring it back with some ink or something like that. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can ink up the embossing folder, run it through, the ink transfers through and the design pops. But I'm going to show you a different way, and it's one of my favourite ways. So I'm just going to run this one through here. Super simple. Now, before I came to air, Dan, I did run a few through on a couple of the different mounts, okay, to show you how cool it looks. And I'll show you that in a second, because those mounts are totally awesome. If you just use them as cards, it's incredible value. But if you use them with your embossing folders, you really do get some stunning effects. You've seen some fantastic cards from my design team using these mounts. And if you do want some inspiration, you can scan the QR codes on the back of our packaging, and that'll take you to all of the 1,440 videos of all the products we've brought to you here on Create and Craft for the last 11 years. So let's just show you this one. Let's just open here. So you lose the design. You can see it a little bit. Now you could take a sanding block if you wanted to, sand it back. But I'm just going to take my white ink pad and I'm just going to swipe it over. And what happens then is the design comes to life. Now I've got a white ink pad here. Now you can tap, you can swipe, you can do whatever you want. But I'm just going to literally swipe. And the whole, there we go. So you can see the design at the lovely table. Just tap, tap, tap. Now look at that.
Oh, wow.
Woo! I get a bit giddy if you hadn't gathered. I love embossing folders. So I'm just going to do it all over, really. I'm going to push that little bit of design back. But how incredible does that table now look with that beautiful detail in it? It looks very ghost-like, actually, which is wonderful. But here is some I did on some other ones. So here is one on one of the yellow ones where I didn't rattle it too much with the white. And here is one on one of the black pieces.
Oh,
look at this
wow.
one. I think this is beautiful because this has got that church in the back. It brings it all together. So these are your painted mounts, which Dan spoke about. So be sure to get them if you really like this type of look. So let's quickly put a card together. So I have a piece of gold here, grey card blank, super, super quick. Let's just pop this piece of gold down the side here. I'm just creating myself a little bit of a panel. And then we'll pop, now we can pop this one on. Oh yeah, let's go with this one because this is the one that we did. So you can see, look at the deboss detail. The design stays really true front and back. It's wonderful. So I'm just using a quick tape pen here. And then we'll just pop this onto the side of our card so you can't see any of that grey. We'll have that pop of gold just on the side there. So now we have this sort of look. Now, if I lean it forward, you really do get a sense of the design in there. But equally, you could pick up a paintbrush now, paint the backs of the chairs if you wanted to, do it in a colour theme. Maybe you are going to a wedding and it's colour themed. You could colour it so it coordinates. And then just a cute sentiment. Again, oops, a daisy. Stuck it in my white. So this one says, thanks for sticking with me. You're welcome, Dan. And here we go. There we go. Super, super easy. I mean, I've run it through an embossing folder. I have hit it with some white, and look at the incredible detail on there. Now, you can use any pattern papers, but our mounts are created with the embossing folders in mind, so you do get that colour come through. That looks like maybe I've painted the back, or I've added some detail myself, but really, really pretty in design.
Love that. You know what, everyone at home, maybe you have painted the back and now you want to run the embossing folders through there. Tony, I'll let you get ready for even more because there's plenty up your sleeve. Oh, that might fall off. Put that back. Okay, those mounts that Tony was just talking about, we're going to go through those next. If you want to get ahead of us, the item numbers on the bottom part of the screen. But again, those embossing folders are down here, aren't they? 023535. Just hearing how many of you have these waiting in your baskets to press check out. The bit I'm saying, I know it's the boring bit. I know you're waiting for Tony, quite right too. That's why I talk quick so we can get back to Tony ASAP. But I've got to let people know, £19 saving. You're paying nothing for the paper pad. You're nearly getting one of the embossing folders for free. One of the embossing folders individually, because they are available for you, has sold out already. That one right there, the bride and groom. But as far as the Abbey goes, so that one's gone. Jasper, we continue on because the theatre of that one there, the drapes are absolutely divine, aren't they? There's the one that Tony was just using. I love that setting of the tree in the middle. It could just be afternoon tea. It could be a wedding. It could be a gathering, something like that. It could be very symbolic. Could be outdoors, could be indoors. They're absolutely beautiful, but you haven't got to choose. You get them all for £31.48 tonight. 023535. But I will emphasise the point. It's not. I know it's in your basket, but it's not yours being delivered to you yet until you press check out. So by doing that tonight, you're ahead in the pick list of those people ordering at 9 p.m. tonight. You're certainly ahead of those ordering in the morning. If you want to get flexi, interest-free, 023535. You can divide the cost. Now then, you want to see the mounts? Let's go see the mounts. Okie dokie, all 5 of them as well. I think I'm going to pick up the middle one. I was just thinking about it earlier on. Here we go. You get a smaller version of this as well, the country side of things. You've got some beautiful like landscapes and animals and things in there too. But you're getting all 5, so it's not like a pick and mix. You are getting them all. But let's set the scene. You can see like the crumpled paper in the background. How clever is that? Absolutely beautiful. Listen, it could be like a winter scene, absolutely, but it doesn't have to be. You can add a little bit more colour in there too if you want to. Several of each design, but just looking how it's not too busy where, like the embossing folder, for example, that's where these have been picked. There's a lot of space for that to really shine through. There's a lot of white space if you want to do your own colouring onto it, or where you're going to put a sentiment. You don't want to cover anything up, right? At the top there, down the bottom there. There's plenty of space for get well soons. How striking is that design? It's almost like a negative and positive type effect, but really very, very striking. Again, so going through, there's plenty of them now, actually every single one. Let's finish on that one. That is just one of the 5 created mount pads for you. On cardstock as well, rather than paper. 365102. 40% of that has sold out. So bravo, everybody checking out your baskets this show. 365102. The glitter's in stock. The happy hour isn't. You've got the other 2 as well. Every single item is, of course, on the website. Right, I told you I'd go quick. Tony, take back over. Do the interesting stuff. Let's see more action.
Thanks, Dan. Can I show you my favourite, which is the changing of the seasons,
yes,
which
please.
is totally awesome. This is really, really artist in design. So you've got that sort of bleed that bleeds out to the edge of the paper, giving a suggestion of design in here. These are really, really cool, guys. These look wonderful on your embossing folder. So when you pop your embossing folder around, the detail goes around the exterior and the detail inside. We've ordered these 2 times and they've absolutely flown every single time. So top up, guys. I know how much you love these ones. They're 300 GSM. They're uncoated as well, which means you can stamp on them, heat emboss them. They take some water, they take ink really, really well. They're a heavier weight, they're a cardstock, not like a paperweight. So in this particular demo, I'm going to use Jasper. I'm going to do a guy and a guy card, because I think sometimes we don't do enough craft, which is going to enable us to create those types of cards. So this is really going to do that for you if you need to create those types of cards. So let's grab our machine here. Now Jasper is totally cool. He is dapper, but he could be ageless. So he could be 15 with his first prom suit, right up until getting the lovely card from the Queen at 100. So it's wonderful. So I'm just going to run Jasper through on white because I'm going to put Jasper in the background on white. And then we're going to run him through the second time and we're going to cut him out. And this is what I was saying about the designs being super, super easy to fussy cut. That Abbey has got so much detail in it, but the exterior around it is super, super easy to cut away. And that's what I loved about these designs. They're very line art finished. We've never done any designs like this before. So these are going to incorporate in so well with the rest of your other products, particularly Imala as well. So let's just show you this. So this is in, I mean, come on. You could just run a ton of these through and watercolour them, ink up. We'll do some inky techniques tonight. So this is Jasper just in white. Now let's get Jasper on the grey. So pop a grey one in. And this Jasper, this particular Jasper that's been cut in grey is going to be fussy cut, and I'll show you how easy he is to cut away. So let's just grab our second mat here. And we'll just run this one through. So we've got two guys. And I've got a nice card, finished card as well from our design team as well. So I'll show you that one too, so you can get a flavour of different colours. It's nice sometimes not to have flowers on your cards. But let me show you how this, look at this one here. So if you have any of our other embossing folders with the flowers, look how beautifully you can connect the dots with the florals and the Lady and Gent, or the florals and the Gent and Jasper, or the florals and the Abbey. Absolutely wonderful. I'll show you some samples because I've got a massive pile here and I haven't even shown you, so I'll show you those.
I think your layering,
so here we are.
your layering stencils will look great, Tony, as well, wouldn't they, with that same kind of concept?
They absolutely would. You're totally right. So it's like it was meant to be, wasn't it? Like everything works together.
How about that?
Just by chance. So let's cut Jasper out. Super easy. So I'm just going to go around the exterior with the world's biggest scissors here. So it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as we've got our embossed line in there, he will cut out beautifully. And again, like I say, all ages, all cards. You've got a cool dad, a cool uncle, anybody who's cool in your life, then this is really, really going to do a trick for your
it's
card
based on me.
making.
I get it, Tony. God, don't go on about it.
Well, we'll agree to disagree. Anyway, so going up into his legs there, and then easy down, and then we have Jasper cut away. Super easy. Now we could have done dies for these, Dan, but I felt like, you know what, they're too easy to cut. You know me, if it's easy to cut, I will cut it. If I feel like it's going to be the bane of your life, I will create a die. And I felt like these were good enough without a die. So there we have. Look how cool he looks.
Great.
Now, we've lost his detail a little bit there. So you can either take a white gel pen if you want to. I'm just going to take my white ink pad. And I'm just going to sort of rattle the top of the design. Super easy. Just get a white ink pad here or a gel pen. And I'm just going to do it on top. So now what happens, look at all that detail just comes back. I don't know if you can see it. There we go.
Yeah.
So it just brings back all of this lovely detail. And there we have Jasper, who looks totally, totally awesome. So let's get our card built. Super easy here. I love the fact that we can do like guy cards as well now. So it's so cool. Makes me very happy. So I have a grey card and a black piece of card. Let's get this put together. Just using a tape pen for speed here, but you could use glue, whatever your preferred adhesive is. So black card, then grey. And pop him on there like that. Super easy. And then Jasper in the white. So, and you can see, look, the deboss is just equally as beautiful. So you can do the deboss. You could actually colour his suit, so you could have a suit like your wedding with the check or the checked shoes, and then a colour-coordinated suit if you wanted to. You can really theme it to whatever people are doing for their lovely day. So Jasper in the white there. And then I've got a panel, just two pieces of grey and a piece of white here. So I'm just going to pop. Panels are always a great breaking point. So if you feel like your card isn't sort of like floating, you feel like your card is floating, or you feel like it needs something else, then just use little breakers like cards, sparkly card, or a little strip or something, and it really will do the trick. So I'm going to pop the grey there, then I'm going to pop the white on the top just to break it up slightly. make sure it's straight. So Jasper is in the back there, and then we have Jasper in the grey, and we'll just pop 2 pats behind him. So we've got second Jasper raised. We'll pop this one down here, so they could be stood waiting for something, or, you know, just looking at the future. And I have just a tab here that says a note to say, but you could personalise it to whatever sentiment you absolutely wanted to do. So I'm going to go. So there we have grey and white, and here we have craft and white, and this one's been done by Karen. So I'll just show you this one too.
And again, just changing the colour for making and selling, for batch making, it's absolutely superior, isn't it? How simple that sort of design is. Thank you so much, Toni. And also, Toni, I know before your next demonstration, let's go through loads of those other cards as well that you've got on standby to show us. So there's a lot of inspiration coming your way. We're just glancing at the clock. 17 minutes left. I'm going to do a quick recap of what you're getting home. Then we'll be straight back to Toni to look at more samples, maybe more demonstration. We'll see how quickly I go. 023535 is your right number for the brand new Stamped by Me. It's called Foreign Romance. The HD 3D embossing folder and paper bundle. It's more than a bundle, isn't it? 6 brand new HD 3D embossing folders, which you can see there is a story, there's a theme going through. If you want it to be wedding, 100%, you've nailed it. You're there with the bride and groom, individual couples. Maybe that card you saw is a thank you to all the groomsmen, for example, or to the best men, or the invitation to be as such, if you want it to be. But, as Toni was saying, it could be for an 18th. It could be for the first prom. It could be for an 80th. If you want it to be. For anniversaries, I think it's absolutely perfect. Of course, for Valentine's Day, we're all going to make cards, buy cards for Valentine's Day. So if you want to make and sell, maybe you're going to send it off to an unrequited love. Maybe you haven't quite snared yet or tricked into a relationship. Oh, we've all been tricked. No. Then they're absolutely perfect for. But if you're wondering where you're going to mount them, where they're going to live on, I haven't got all this craft stuff yet. I've just started crafting. That's what I'm doing this year, Dan. Where am I going to put them? You've got the paper pad. You've got the paper pad in here. You can use these pages to emboss. Do exactly onto here. That's what Toni's showing you. Of course, if you've got more cast, I'm sure you have. If you're not sure, get hold of the mounts for a different. Maybe you don't want scenery like this or almost like photographic elements, and you want things a little bit more artistic and watercolory. That's exactly what the mounts are for. But to get everything home, and every single one of these sheets, by the way, in the paper pad, you are not even paying for. They are free within there too, and then some. £19 saving for the one-day special. 2 flexi pays if you wanted to buy the cost interest-free. Most of you are. £31.48. Right, 023535. I can hear so many of you have it in your basket, waiting for a window for breathe and to press checkout. Your time is right now. Then after this, much more from Toni.
Tickets are now on sale for Crafting Live at the Sandown Park Racecourse on the 19th and 20th of January. Sign up for your free make and takes, stock up on all your crafting goodies from a vast range of exhibitors, and watch live guest demonstrations. We will also be broadcasting live, so join our audience to meet our presenters after the show. Club members order your tickets online and reserve free entry. So treat yourself or someone special to a great day out and book your tickets now at createandcraft.com and search for Crafting Live. We look forward to seeing you there.
Yes, indeed. A very warm welcome to everybody watching via the one-day special here on Create and Craft. Everybody watching on Toni's streams as well on the How to Craft Network. We're super excited that you're joining us for a brand new one-day special. Right, Toni, looking at the clock, we've got like 15 minutes left. What do you want to do? Do you want to start a demonstration first, or do you want to show us some samples? Up to you.
I'll show you some samples, and then I'll go straight into a demo if that's all right,
Cool.
Dan. Can we show the samples on your set as well at the bottom, Dan? Because I think them ones are from Paul.
Absolutely
and
not.
Everybody loves to see those too. So I'll show you these first, if that's okay.
Okay.
So let's just have a quick look at these. So this is the one I showed you with that paper in the background, but you know, these would look incredible with the mounts as well. So you can see that lovely bride and groom there. What about the abbey in the gold and the curtains on there? And then what if you want to paint them with the sparkly gown with the cabaret curtain in the back in white? Look at the detail. If I just lift that slightly forward, you can see that wonderful detail in there. I mean, come on, that looks like it's been painted or sketched.
That's very
And
cool.
that is on one of the mounts. That's one of the floral mounts you've got, Dan. Just run through and then the detail put back in with a black pen. Look at this. This looks very ghost-like, very romantic, the detail there. What about in your embossing powders? Ooh,
How's that done?
a bit sparkly. That's inked up with your sticky ink and then embossing powder on top. So it's still, because of the high definition, it still keeps that incredible detail. This one's pretty with the sparkle, with the family gathering. I like that one a lot. And then we have Jasper again, who keeps making an appearance because he's super gorgeous. And then the florals again. And that, look at that easel. That's in
clever.
white. I mean, the easel's just absolutely a showstopper for me. The Abbey, back on one of those painted mounts again. So they really do give you that pop of colour, the artistic feel. And then we have Jasper there just on the white with a glow of grey on there. So there's some wonderful samples. Let's do a quick demo using the easel this time. So I'm just going to grab my demo here. Now I'm going to change it up a little bit. Ooh. So we're going to do a small card because the easel is smaller in design. It's an A6 one. I felt like it was big enough for what we need. So I have a piece of white. Let's just grab the easel one. So again, I'm just going to pop the white card into the easel. Now you can ink up your embossing folders. Don't forget, I'm not getting messy in this show. I'll get messy tonight with ink, nothing else, no gins, just ink. And I'm just going to run this one through. We'll do some coloured ones tonight, so make sure you come back and see the show tonight. Let's just run this through. So this is just white. So I've done actually clean classic designs with my demos, all 4 demos. Actually, if I just step back, ooh, if I move that, you can see all of my lovely demos at the back there. Look at that. Yeah. We've done a ton of demos, guys. So we'll try and do quite a few tonight as well. So let's just run this one through. So here it is in white. I mean, just in white. If you want to tell somebody a message, the message can go into the centre of that easel. And you've got all the detail. You've got the legs. You've got the gilded frame on there. So if you have your waxes and things like that, and equally on the deboss side, just equally as beautiful.
Do you think that easel's like? Do you think that easel's about the right size for, you know, like school photos and that kind of thing? Do you think you can maybe snip one of those out and pop it in the easel? It'd be cute, wouldn't it?
You could absolutely cut one down. That's totally right. So ahead of time, what I've done is I did the easel twice, and I cut away the frame look. And what I did was I added my gold wax, so I really have got that frame look on there. So if you now to mat it on top with a pad underneath, I've got now a gold framed easel, which are traditional for weddings where you've got table numbers and things like that. But equally, if you have a paintbrush, Sarah was on yesterday with you down with that paintbrush. It could be like a painted design.
Yeah, indeed.
You could do anything you wanted, really. So I'm just going to pop it on. And then what I did also is I ran the easel through again on some patterned paper, so I could get like a little bit of a mini picture for the centre of here. So let's just mat and layer this one on here with that pad. And then I got a little window from the paper pad. You can just see that there. And I'm going to stick that in my picture. Look, that looks like an artist picture. How cool is that? So, but you, like Dan said, you could do a picture. Pop this into our easel. You could actually paint something, stamp something in there too. So let's just build this card. So this is really, really simple card, but I think these embossing folders are really simple, but they do give those wow factor cards, which sometimes is nice to get a wow factor card in just a few minutes rather than 9 hours, because sometimes that's what it takes to make a card. So there we have a piece of gold. And then I'm just going to stick this onto this gold here. Super easy. It's almost a shame to hide the deboss because it's so beautiful. Pop that on there. And then I've got Enjoy Your Day just on a washi tab, which you've all got by now because we sold thousands of these. And then you can just you could pop it in the centre. I'm just going to go off to the side here. I mean, how quick was that? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Look at that. And that's a golden frame.
That's really striking, isn't it? It's like, it's a really unbusy card, if you know what I mean. There's lots of colour everywhere and things. It feels very, very focused in on there. Like you're just looking at the front bit, which is really beautiful. Like not being scared of white paste, I suppose the point I'm trying to make, isn't it? Like lots of white areas there, Tony, but with a little matte area away.
But equally, if you do want to add a pop of colour, you could go around with your blending brush, add a shadow. You could have inked up the embossing folder so it transferred some of the colour onto the background if you don't want it to be just plain white. But the beauty about them is you have options. You're not put in a box. You can be clean and simple, or you can take it right to the next level with mixed media and things like that. And I think the samples down by the front of you, Dan,
we're on it,
really show if you want to add a little bit of colour or add extra elements, you really can jazz these up.
check these out. It could be really, really modern, couldn't it? What does that say? Hang on. Someone is thinking
of you.
Ooh. Isn't that pretty? But like, Leah, a bit of an ink pad in the background as well, then bringing in the Abbey, as you can spy. Oh, I thought that was a book. Maybe it is. The front of a bound book. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, with the cabaret curtains just closing there. Isn't that absolutely divine? Best day ever. Love that. And look at the blossoms and things, like real memory pieces. You know what, Tony? For memory books, like keepsakes and that kind of thing, is it going to be a gift to the happy couple? Or maybe it's your photo album from your wedding day, or maybe something else, like there's a picture that you know, of my grandson who looks exactly like that in the suit. It's not top hat and tails, so it could still be wedding, but actually it could be just an occasion, can't it? Whether it's a graduation, maybe it's a new job, maybe it's a ball, maybe it's a birthday, anything like that at all. So it's really, really, you can go much further, but goodness me, we are ready for wedding season, and if you want to make and sell, you absolutely can do. That's what this collection is all about. And then if you're wondering where to mount them, maybe the papers at the top are going to go nowhere near the embossing folders. They are all designed, of course, to work together, but they haven't got to after all. So maybe it's something completely different. Maybe you're going to fussy cut these out. Maybe you're going to add inks. Maybe you're going to emboss these with Tony's other embossing folders. Really, really cool, though, for memory pieces, sketching, doodling, tangling on if you want to. You're not paying anything for that pad. You can't get it individually here at Create and Craft. It is included under this item number, 023535. So bravo, everybody. Popping in the mounts in the same basket. The colourless glitter in the same basket. The other two pads as well, but 023535. £31.48. Tony, we've got options. We could either look even more in depth at some of those samples and really put out the composition and stuff, unless there's a demo you want to do. I don't want to push you, but we've got like 6 minutes.
I've got plenty of time. I'll do a demo if that's all right.
Go on.
Thank you. So I'm going to use the cabaret curtains now. This is, I feel like, this is probably the strongest workhorse out of them all. It's going to work across the board. Jasper fits beautifully at the front. You have the bride and groom, which fits beautifully as well. So, you know, just think beyond just a set of curtains, and possibly it was sold in a wedding sort of theme, because it obviously is not. And if you want a stamp, if you have a stamp of a bride and groom or a stamp of a lady or something like that, it would fit beautifully within these curtains. So I have a black piece of card. I'm just going to show you how to get like a chalkboardy effect, because I'm not going to use any ink now because I've stayed totally clean. I'll get inky tonight.
Okay.
So let's just run this one through. So it's super easy. So you can ink up the embossing folder with a blending brush, or you can take the ink pad straight to the design once it's come through the embossing folder. It's totally your call. There are thousands of techniques with embossing folders. They've been around for absolute donkeys of embossing folders. So, you know, check out social medias, check out our group, because we show you tons and tons of ways to get the most out of these. And I think because they're so indestructible and so inexpensive, people really love them. So I'm not sure if you can see that black there, but I am going to highlight it in a second. Oh, there we go. So that's the embossed and the wonderful debossed as well. So let's just ink this one up with our pad. So this again, I like to take ink pad.
It could frame up anything, Tony, right? These curtains. So it could be a Christmas tree right in the middle. It could be a stamped sentiment or a verse or lyrics or flowers even. I think it's a really lovely, unique way to frame.
It totally could. And because you've got that lovely embossed detail on your card as well, it's always going to add that extra touch of elegance, I feel, because you've got the rise and fall without pads underneath. So you do really get a lovely touch on your cards. So I'm just going to take the white and I'm just going to tap the design. And this is where all of that detail is going to come back. Now, this is like a chalkboardy effect. So the white goes on really prominent on the rise. Can you see the detail in there?
Wow.
Absolutely awesome. And you see the ribbon coming down the side as well. But then because I'm going for a chalkboardy effect, the white on the back is giving us that extra sort of detail in here. So now, if you ink up with an ink pad like I'm doing, but you don't want the excess around, like Dan just said there, we can cut it away if we want to, or you can recut and put back on top as well. So you really do have options. So that's just hit with a white ink pad. But if you have a gold ink pad, gold gilding wax, you can do that too. But if you want to elevate it a little bit more, a white gel pen always helps as well. You can go down some of the lines. So if you go into some of the lines as well, you really can play around with these and bring back extra detail where maybe you've lost it, or you've maybe hit it with, your ink pad and you're thinking, oh, I've done it too much, I've only gone and ruined it. Now look at all the detail down this side here. You could go into the pleats, into the canapé at the top. Is that what it's called, a canapé?
Yeah, sure.
Canapé.
Yeah.
Canapé on curtains
Is it
from like the 80s, I believe. Pelmet.
Is it a pelmet?
Pelmet, not a canapé.
A canapé, you're probably going to eat that,
Canapé's
Tony.
on a
I don't know.
buffet, isn't it?
Just helping myself to a
canapé's on a
pelmet.
buffet. Oh, well, never mind. I am thinking about food. So
It's probably not in the
let's
pelmet
just put the detail in here. So you can absolutely go around, but equally, again, like I said with the other designs, Dan, go around with your scissors, cut them away. I did see that one of the samples on set had the bride and groom, and then the dress and the outfit was cut from one of the mounts and layered back on top. So it looks like the lady's got the most beautiful floral gown.
Ah,
and he
here
has
it
got
is. Yeah.
the most beautiful, is it a matching jacket or a matching trousers? I think that's totally all. Look at that. I might actually do that demo tonight where you do the matching dress. So you basically, to achieve that card, you do it twice, the embossing folder, then you do one on pattern paper and one on white, and then you cut away the jacket, you cut away the dress, and you add it back on, whether you glue it or raise it like it's been done there. I think that is just totally awesome. I would have never thought of that one. Totally cool. So there we go. So that is just the chalkboard effect. So if you're thinking, I like white on white, Tony, but, you know, sometimes to see something different, then you have options. And you would have got that sort of look if you'd added the white ink pad to the embossing folder and pushed it through. So you have options. Just play around, have fun. It's a piece of card. What's the worst that can happen?
That is the whole point, isn't it, Tony? Tony, thank you ever so much. So you say we're out of time now, but you're back at, is it 9 p.m?
Yep, I'm back at 9 p.m.
Perfect. With Mr. Parker, he's very excited about the show as well. So, Tony, I'll let you go, but thank you ever so much for picking up these shows and for bringing this whole launch a month early. So thank you so much for Tony, which is hugely exciting. So if you do want to make and sell, you can do. 30% of the total stock has gone. There's no more stock to come either. There is no more of the paper pad either. You could only get that under the one-day special item number 023535. Tony's top tip, don't forget those set of 5 mounts in the same basket as well. Hey, anything else going in here? It's got FlexiPay, right? Divide it by 2 if you want to, but get the mounts on this show page, creatingcraft.com, all in the one transaction. However you check out your baskets, now's time to do it. To get